So for the first tour of the track, what was it like for your horse?
They got around there good, so the track's in good shape like it usually is here. And I was real pleased the way they shipped in. Had good energy today. They got over it well.
Highly motivated, put in an awesome performance in the Bluegrass Stakes. What did that show you, being so strong against the favorite for this race?
Yeah, this is his first time around 2 turns, so it gave me a lot of confidence that he can handle a 2-turn race and the distance. And it was only his second start of the year as well, so I was looking for a little more fitness to put into the horse, and I think he got that with a good hard race into him. He came out of it well. He's had one work since. He went super. And, I think this horse is really going to move forward off that race.
Do you compare him at all to cloud computing?
A little different. This horse, at least he has a 2-year-old foundation. He had those 3 really good races at age 2. I think that put him farther ahead of a horse like Cloud Computing, who we had to wait for the Preakness because he was a little behind this horse. But in terms of ability, sure, they're both big, strong colts that look like they can compete, in these Triple Crown races. We hope so. We'll see.
Can you talk some more about his race in the Bluegrass, going against the champion? I mean,
Yeah.
the Central Quality was the only favorite to win the 100-point race.
Yeah, he ran super, and I have a lot of respect for Central Quality, obviously being undefeated, and really he's done nothing wrong. He's a super talented horse and the deserving favorite in the race. Our horse, he got a really good trip. He got to go to the lead. He saved all the ground, being right on the rail the whole way, and he set strong fractions, but they weren't ridiculous by any means, and he just got nailed at the wire there. That being said, I'd like to see this horse. It's the first time he's ever been on the lead in a race too, so I do think he's more effective with a target. What I'm hoping for is more pace in the Derby where he can be close but following somebody. I think if that happens, you're going to see this horse get the 1.25 miles without any problem.
Would you be happy to hear then that Brad Cox just said Caddo River is going in?
Yeah, I'm in favor of more speed in the race. Even though we were again on the lead last time, it's not our preferred way to run. I do know that about the horse. I've been here before, and obviously with the Derby, a lot of luck has to go your way as well. The post position draw, that's maybe the most dreaded part of the week, and for everybody. And then getting out of the gate clean. There's always a weather factor. There's so many things. So we've had some close chances here. For the most part, I got to tell you, I've had some really good trips in the Derby. We've come up a little short. On a couple of them, I thought we had a chance to win at the top of the stretch. And particularly with Good Magic and Normandy Invasion, I thought, turn for home, that's a good feel when you think you have a chance to win. So just getting to that quarter pole cleanly with a chance to win is really what you're looking for. And so many things have to go right.
Chad, you don't appear to be a guy who just likes to enter horses in the Derby. I mean, your horse has to show you something for them to run in this thing. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, you'll see that we don't have a large number of starters over the, I guess 14 years or so I've been training, but we try to pick the right horses. It hasn't always worked, but like I said, we've had a couple close calls there, and I think that's a good point. We feel like we have a horse that, can really fit, and we have 2 horses with the points to run, and we've chosen just to run one. I'm going to wait with my other horse, Crowded Trade, much like we did with Cloud Computing, had the points to run that year. And he, if they get started a little late, I don't think they're ready, even though they qualify. I don't really want to run unless I think we have a chance to win. And we chose the one that I think has a chance to win.
What do you like about him?
Now that I've been doing this a little longer and I've, learned, I think what it takes, observing horses that have had success in the Derby, he's just physically, he seems like he's big enough and strong enough to handle, this, tough 20-horse field on this track, which can be, demanding on Derby day at 1.25 miles this early in the year for a 3-year-old. And he's got some natural speed, which is always helpful here to secure a good spot in that first turn. And his numbers are good. I've always followed the numbers of my horses as they develop in their careers, and I try to stack them against the field. And he's definitely, one of the faster horses, the top handful of horses in this field on his figures. So
His last 3 races at the Bluegrass and last they were off the charts. Speaking of numbers, the rags obviously everything's too flattering numbers-wise.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. He's he's definitely moving the right way. He's gotten faster on his figs every race he's ever run. Like you said, that last portion of the race, those two horses really separated themselves from the field. So, like I said, it gives me a lot of optimism that he'll keep going an extra eighth of a mile, and hopefully we get lucky this time.
Chad, you mentioned that over the years you've learned more and more about this race. How quirky is the Derby, considering the mile and the quarter, considering it's a 20-horse field?
Yeah, it's a very unique race is the way I'd put it. There's so many factors, right? You're not going to be in a 20-horse field in America ever. And again, a mile and a quarter, and this dirt track, which is a really good track, but it's a unique track. I think that, you have to have a horse that really likes it. I mean, there's been several horses through the years. Some are mine, many are not, but that have, exited the Derby, maybe not running well, and had really outstanding careers. So it goes to show you how tough a race it is, and how you have to have like the right horse on that day to do it. So you have to be a student of the game, I think, whatever you're doing as a trainer, and the Derby's really at the top of the list of learning, I'd say.
You've done so much in your career. What does this race mean to it?
It's a dream of every trainer, I think, when they go out on their own. No matter where you're from or where you're based, you want to aim for the Kentucky Derby, and it's something that if you're lucky enough to win it, it's something that everybody understands, whether the horse racing fan or not. So it'd be a great thing to accomplish for me and my team. And the owner, Mr. Klarmer, has been such a strong supporter since the early days of our stable, and a huge support of the industry, a very generous guy within the industry as well. And I think there's a lot of deserving people on this team, so hopefully this is our year.
You say it's a unique track. What do you mean by that? The surface?
Yeah, I think the surface is a bit unique. Like I said, it's a really good surface. We've had a lot of horses run well here, but I think that, as a trainer, I've seen, like many other tracks in this country, there's certain horses that maybe don't like it, and that can get in your way. That's one of the many ways to lose the Derby, so you have to have a horse that really takes to it as well.
Chad, some people talking about the Bluegrass felt it wasn't that visually impressive a race, talking about essential quality. Are they selling your horse short?
Yeah, I haven't really heard that, but I'm sure it's out there because there's so many opinions. It's a great thing about our country. I welcome them. I saw it as a really good race. I saw it as two of the best horses in the crop really separating themselves. I think when you look at the past performances of both the horses, you can go back and connect the dots to see they're really good horses. I know Essential Quality is much more accomplished than our horse, but our horses really never ran a bad race. All his races are good and they're fast. So, I'd be in the camp of thinking it was the strongest prep that I've seen.
Yeah, and even though the margin was only ahead, like Fred was saying, I mean, they came home in 36 and change.
Yeah, and like I said, they really separated themselves from the field. So, like I said, it's a strong race, and looking forward to trying them again. A different trip maybe, and bigger field. So we'll see.
You have a big chance in the Kentucky Oaks. Your
Yeah.
search results tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm happy you asked me about that. This filly's really, because the colt's in here and stuff, I've had many questions about her, but there's a horse that's undefeated, lightly raced, but she's done nothing wrong. A really sweet horse to be around, and I think her best races are really ahead of her. It comes up a really solid race as well. There's a handful of horses that look on figures and on race record and pedigree and connections looks strong. Any one of about a half a dozen horses in there, I could see winning that race with a clean trip. But I think she's one of them, and it's exciting to come to the Oaks with an undefeated horse. It's a race I haven't participated as much. We've had a good run in the race before. Finished third one year, a horse named Lewis Bay, and I feel much better this year coming in with an undefeated horse.
How does it feel having, after last year, these races were Labor Day weekend? Return to normalcy or closer to normal?
Yeah, definitely. It's felt that way for me since I arrived yesterday. It definitely feels like we're getting back to the way things were in 19. With the Derby and Oaks and all those great undercard races that we like running, and we have a good group of horses, and I look forward to every year this weekend of racing, so it feels pretty good.
How old were you when you went out on your own, when you opened your stable? How old were you?
About 27, I think.
And you worked for Bobby for
It's
how
only
long?
3 years ago.
How long did you work
Hard to believe.
for Bobby, right?
Yeah, before that, yeah. Yeah, it's funny, we were talking earlier about me being in this barn now, and when I was with Bobby and then on my own, we've always been in the barns on the other side over there.
Right.
So then now that we have a year-round presence in Kentucky racing, we stayed last year to race all summer, and I plan on from here on out, racing in Kentucky, at Churchill, Kentucky Downs, Keeneland, all the tracks have a base here. They put us in a permanent barn that was available and over here. So at first, because I'm a creature of habit, I was a little whiny about it. But then I'm thinking, change my luck, because Frankel, we didn't win the Derby, and we haven't with our stable as well. So maybe this barn will bring us some good luck.